I think it's important to note, I have not been able to vote in the House since the Speaker sent us home on September 19th. That is how long that we have been unable, and almost every entrance to the House chamber is actually locked right now. I can't even vote until the Speaker calls us back. In fact, we've only been in session 14 of the last 100 days. It is absolutely shameful that that is how the House of Representatives is operating. It didn't operate that way under the Attorney General. He told me earlier today that he's never experienced this. Normally during a shutdown, Congress still is there doing committee work, still, on the Hill working all these things. My theory is that Speaker Johnson, if we were all in Washington right now, and we have relationships, I have friends across the aisle on my committee and people I've been working with for the last 11 months. If we were all there right now, we would start talking about our constituents, and we would start talking about healthcare and SNAP and how to pay our federal workers. And there would probably be a couple coups. There would be probably a couple deals made by folks who are not in leadership. And so my theory is he has intentionally kept us scattered across this country so that we cannot have those conversations. Now, I probably once a day, I call or text a Republican colleague, but those are all relationships, folks, that I built between January and July. Because if you recall, the Speaker also sent us home for a 5-week vacation in August, frankly in July. And so we should have, and I totally agree, we should have tackled all of these issues. We knew in March that the federal government was gonna run out of money on September 30th. We knew that we had to do the budget. All of that work needed to be done. We knew we would have this looming healthcare crisis on January 1st, that 20 million Americans at least are gonna be directly impacted by if Congress does not act to extend those ACA tax credits. None of this was new, and yet the Speaker still sent us home in July for 5 weeks instead of doing that hard work. And so it's really difficult because believe me, I want nothing more than to make sure that I can get back and do my job. And we were doing our best, still showing up to the office and working with constituents on their issues, and again, still talking to my colleagues across this country, but it is imperative that the Speaker call us back to Washington to do this work, because there's important work to do. We have to pass what is called the Fair Pay for Contractors Act that I'm a co-sponsor of, to make sure that when we are in future shutdowns, we are back paying those contractors like Michael, so that he's not on hold. We need to pass the student loan bill. There's real work that has to get done, and I recognize that contractors are some of the worst hit during a shutdown, and that's why we have to find these solutions for them to make sure they get that back pay post-shutdown. We can't do that. We can't do the hearing for that bill if we're not in session. And so I spend every day praying for the Speaker, imploring him to bring us back to session, because we have to do this hard work that you all expect us to do.